Let me tell you something, brother. Welcome to the Real Weird Sickos podcast, live from Weirdsville, Sicko Town, USA. I am not your mean best friend. I ain't your mean buddy, and I sure as shit ain't the mean bro. I'm the meme bastard Charles Kahn himself. Oh yes, I've crawled out of hell. I died and went to hell, and I was too much for hell. They sent me back, and here we are. And with me, also from hell, Jenna. Hi, Jenna.
Okay, this is like the fourth week in a row you've made me out to be like, you said I was like evil, and now I'm from hell.
Yes.
Is it just because it's
Straight
October?
from hell.
Yep, it's October.
Vile.
Mean. That's mean. I'm an angel
The internet's,
from heaven.
yes. No. If you ask certain people, they will say the word succubus is used.
True. I do
They'll
get
use
that
the
a
word
lot.
succubus. You know who's an incubus? Just a pesky incubus.
What the fuck?
Oh, listen. You don't know what an incubus is?
Yes, I do.
It's a male version of a succubus.
Oh,
They're known
Jesus
for their
fucking
oddly shaped genitals.
What?
With us is Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Say hi,
What
Tom.
the fuck kind of show is this?
I don't no idea.
Real Weird Sickos.
Charles, this is that is okay. To be honest, this is Tommy C. Shot from The Point. How you doing?
How are you? Oh, nice,
Good.
Nice.
A lot cooler now after we left hell.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm here because Mudafar's girlfriend's here, and I can't.
You
Well,
can't. You
thank
can't burn the
expose
bridge.
me as
I can't burn
Mudahar's
that bridge.
girlfriend.
What does Mudahar think about the topics we're talking about today, Jenna?
About succubuses?
He knows.
I
He's
agree.
been on
I
here
agree
for-
with him entirely. I agree with him completely.
It's a lot of talk about succubuses lately.
Tell him I was really, really nice to you. Please tell him I was nice to you.
Well, if he wasn't editing a big video, he might have joined us today. But
wow.
he's kind of in the middle of editing a big video, so he was like he didn't have time. But that's okay. But
Actually, I don't want that. I don't want him here because that's going to take away from my appearance. So maybe we can.
True.
Maybe I can kiss his ass and blow smoke up his ass offline rather than doing it on the show because this is about me.
Speaking of you, we'll just like jump right into it. The Locale podcast.
Is that happening? Is it really happening at last?
Well, we did get into a group chat. Keem's in there. Nick's in there. I was told there was going to be the episode that we did do is going to be released and cut. I don't know what happened there. I was also told that. I mean, maybe I should bitch about it. I'll give you guys a gem. One of the things that really always pissed me off about Keem is like I feel like I'm the only adult out of all these people, not only in fucking this podcast but in Baited as well. And I'm always given the least amount of responsibility. So the first thing he does when we all get back together, he goes, "Boogie, take care of all the socials." Well, they're not done.
Oh God, no!
He's not like I guess that's my biggest complaint. He will not. I'm like the only grown up, and I'm never given any responsibility. So that's why nothing gets fucking
should have
done.
deferred it to me. I would have took care of the socials. You want socials?
But we had that problem already, and then you all own them. Yeah, that's the problem.
So what happened with? So did the last you had spoken about this when you were talking about it on stream last week? You were talking about that Jordy had kind of gone MIA. Yeah.
Oh no, there's been an update since then.
Oh, okay.
I did what happened was we had I don't want to give the whole, if anybody wants to check it, we had kind of a quasi infiltrator. I'm just saying that for lack of a better word. And I couldn't get a hold of Jordy. Jordy did seem to be sort of defending this guy. And I was like, Boogie, I just wanted to do the damn show.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't going anywhere. And we all like signed a contract, like kind of a email contract. Keem claims it'll stand up in court. I don't fucking know. And we all got back together, and like I said, the first thing Keem said was put Boogie in charge of something, which I don't fucking understand.
Oh,
but,
God.
Why would he do
I would
that?
put Boogie in charge of wiping his own ass.
Well,
like the worst person to run a social media account. Like, Keem knows, like, unless he did that on purpose because he knows like what a shit show, Boogie's own personal Twitter is like. Like, maybe he's thinking that he posts like such stupid shit that it'll just bring like the engagement. Maybe
no,
that was
he just
I'm so sad. Why am I sad?
We're not. No, this is a matter of just getting the name of the cast and getting the YouTube channels and stuff like that. That's all we're talking about here. We're not talking about Boogie being in control of it in any meaningful way. We're just talking about somebody signing up, and that hasn't been done. Now Boogie says he's going to do it on Monday, and I don't know when this podcast is going to come out, but yeah, great.
I might get it out tomorrow. So
if this doesn't get if this doesn't get out, if I don't hear from either of them, because I think really what it should be is either we have some helpers or I do the heavy lifting and I just have them show up, because that's all that can really happen. I don't see this ever getting off the ground any other way. It's got to be kind of done for them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like, I guess because it is, Keems goes with guys he trusts. He's known Boogie longer than he's known me. So I think it comes down to something like that. I don't know. But I'm gonna kind of, I'll call Keem directly. It's like, look, you got to stop doing this. You got to give me don't put them in charge of everything. Put me in charge of everything.
No.
And then I'm going to hate my life.
Charles is being mean. Charles is being mean to like Boogie today, but where the fuck was that when Boogie was actually on here, Charles?
Well, listen, I'm not going to be... I did say he had AIDS to his face. Like, what do you want, Jenna?
How do you get AIDS?
You were going to go so... Like, it couldn't be bad cop and worse cop. What do you want?
It had to be, but you know what? A lot of people warned me that he did the exact same thing. That actually, like, Clown told me that. He was like, what he's going to do is just do this. Oh, you're right. Like, I'm just... I'm just not a good. I'm just not a good person.
Everybody hates me.
And it's like I don't know what I was expecting, but I did catch him on a couple.
Pity me! Oh, pity me! That's what he does. I hate that shit. I want him to be. If he just went on and did the bit, if he played his character, hey, it's me, Francis, and I'm fucking pissed off about goddamn Magic the Gathering, and just went crazy for 15 minutes. If he did that once a month. Like, that'd be so much better than the constant pity party.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the documentary that's coming out, like, in a couple weeks?
What's the documentary?
He's involved. Yeah, he was involved. He hired somebody or he was working with somebody, and the little trailer that they had for it, some guy who probably maybe has, like, 8,000 subscribers on YouTube or something, like... Mm-hmm. Made this really elaborate documentary that he's involved in, and like watching the first like 10 seconds, you just like it makes you want to fucking put a gun in your mouth. It's that depressing. And I don't know what he's hoping to kind of accomplish here, because I mean everything that's known about him is already known,
Well, that's one of the problems about, oversharing is, like, especially if you're in the entertainment sort of influencer business, because, like, once you're done, once the stories are done, it's like nobody cares. Like...
Yeah. It's already old.
It's like a luchador when they unmask.
Yeah, it's not the same.
They lose their power. Like, once we saw Rey Mysterio was actually a handsome guy, it's like, okay, I understand why Jennifer Aniston would go out with this guy now. But he lost so much of his power.
Jennifer Aniston didn't go out with Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did.
He looks like a little. First of all, I've met Rey Mysterio in Iraq. Actually, he looks like.
Did you know that he played Freddy Krueger?
Same age as me, and he looks like a boy, even well into his 40s.
Really?
Oh, God.
Well, he's a little like Mexican dude, like
Yeah, but he literally has a baby. He could pass for about 29. No problem.
Really?
I bet you he could probably pass as a younger guy
even now.
Like, he's still doing stuff.
He could,
He's still
considering how
physical,
fit he is.
Like,
considering how fit he is, and he's short and he's boyish and can't grow a beard. Yeah.
Lack of tea will do that to you. Not make you grow up.
I will not sit here and accept this Rey Mysterio slander. All right, he played Freddy Krueger.
I know.
Okay?
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, like, what low testosterone does to a motherfucker. Just saying.
He ran through a bunch of famous chicks. It wasn't just Jennifer Aniston.
No, who else?
I'm trying to remember who it was. Rey Mysterio dating famous chicks. Let's see if I can pull up some of this stuff. Jennifer Aniston was the number one.
Really? I guess you're right. I'm looking over here. Dude, Jennifer Aniston. When was that? It was really
that had to have been like in the WCW days.
97.
Yeah.
Article by
so this
National
would have been like right around her peak on Friends. Like he was in WCW. He was doing the cruiserweight thing. Like, you know, things were happening. He was a hot dude. He was a young stud, Rey Mysterio. And I will not sit here and accept this slander from a succubus.
He's not as hot as DSP, the local podcast holdout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
honestly,
DSP should start his own lolcow podcast.
I think it would have he would have rage quit either every episode or not showed up.
Oh, that'd be great. If every episode, like 2 minutes in, hey everybody, it's me, DSP, and I can't stand these fucking guys, and just clicks off.
He would want it to be like live streamed, and he would like be really.
I want it
he
live.
Would not be.
He'd have to beg before the show started for his like money. Hey guys, I got Boogie here on the call, but we need money. Like try to get you guys to sit there with him for 30 minutes while he begs.
By the way, he did not. I looked into this. You're wrong. He did not gender it. It's complete bullshit.
Oh,
it's around the time his son was born.
Tommy, you have insulted my honor, and I demand satisfaction.
Yeah, well, I'll send you the article if it makes you feel any better. No, he never dated her.
Oh, Mr. Article on the internet.
Charles.
It's video of him talking to Logan Paul, but
video.
Was he on? Wait. He was on.
Video.
He was on. What do you call it? What's fucking Logan Paul's podcast?
Yeah,
the
that's where he
Queercast.
that's where he releases stuff. Not only did Rey Mysterio had never been married, had already been married a year when the National Enquirer decided to tell the world that he and Anderson were a thing, but the newlyweds had already welcomed baby Dominic, who's now a big wrestling star, into the world in '97. At the time, the internet was in its infancy. Many fans likely assumed Anderson dating Tibbet was factually accurate, hence it's been a weird part of wrestling folklore for the next 25 years. So it is not true.
Next, you'll tell me that Macho Man wasn't messing around with Stephanie.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm wondering. I wonder about that one myself.
Have you heard about that one, Jenna?
No, you know I haven't.
Oh, Jenna, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, yeah. Supposedly messed around with a very young Stephanie McMahon.
Oh,
and that was why
really?
there was such a rift between him and Vince.
I think that's probably made up.
No, it's that this one.
There's a few guys that would know who have spoken out about it.
And she did when she like me and Stephanie are 4 days apart. I just happen to know that.
Really?
And so this would have been when she was like a sophomore in high school.
Oh shit! That makes it way worse.
Yeah. He was
Snap into a Slim Jim, Jenna. Oh yeah.
That makes it
way
worse.
It's one of those things that never gets answered outright, but everybody pipes up when they never say no either.
Okay, well, if they never say no, then that's the answer.
They never say no. People that know, like, I don't know, I heard things, stuff like that, or I have no idea. I don't know that Stephanie's ever denied it. I don't know if the Triple H has ever denied it. And they, he left around the time that Stephanie was in high school. He left, went to WCW. There's never been any explanation about it, and he wasn't put in the Hall of Fame until after he was dead. So there may be something there.
I had heard that it was part of the Slim Jim deal, that Vince had a part of that, and when he left for WCW, he took Slim Jim with him, like totally. Mm-hmm. And that was
that could be too, but that calls me because
but
he's a multi-millionaire. The guy's sleeping with his 16-year-old daughter. I don't know if he gave a fuck, about Slim Jims at that point.
Yeah.
It could be just that's a good cover. That's
angry.
Probably like one of the best covers. But yeah, I think messing around with a 16-year-old.
I had heard about it when I was in high school. I'd heard about it like when I was in high school. That rumor.
Yeah, I heard about it too.
But I didn't know who Stephanie McMahon was at that time. I know who Stephanie McMahon was. I just heard. I was bullshit. Like, yeah, Macho Man got fired because he's messing with Vince's daughter. I was like, yeah, sure. I wouldn't know who she was for another 4 or 5 years.
Maybe one day. Nobody's expecting it.
One day the truth will come out about Macho Man. Stephanie
no, it won't, because she's married.
like, oh yes,
Paul would have to die. He'd have to die. It's the only way she'd ever admit it.
He's come close.
What if she comes
lately.
out and tries to cancel him this many years later after he's been gone for how long?
Oh yeah, she does the Me Too # Slim Jim.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame her at all. I mean, she's like
no, not at all.
She was a kid, and he was a big. He had to, assuming it happened, he had to know better.
He was part of Mega Powers.
How old was he at the time?
40s.
Oh shit!
Push late 30s, 40s. So I'm 95. I was 18, so it's probably before that. So it's around 94, 93. Okay. So how old would she be in 93? She'd be about 16. And what year was he born? Let's check.
He was born in 1936.
No, he wasn't.
This article.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Okay, exactly. It's the same. It's the same article that said that what's his name was dating Jennifer Aniston. So there you go.
He's born in 1952. So 93, he would have been about 39.
Oh my god.
Yeah. 39, 40. Yeah.
Macho Man's the best voice. If I could get an AI that could just perfectly do the Macho Man voice, I'd use that every day for everything. I'd call everybody I know. Oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Tommy?
Everybody would hate your guts. Hey, apparently.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, apparently he really talked like that, too.
Yeah, that was his brother sounds like that. His brother has almost the exact same kind of cadence and talk. And it's weird to hear. Because it's...
I think that's people just kind of leaning in and not being able to, separate their person from persona.
So there's a lot of crazy stories about guys in wrestling that do that kind of stuff. Like the Samoan guys, one of them was in a car wreck, and at the time they were like talking gibberish and stuff on TV, and he didn't want to give him his real name. Like he was trying real hard to keep that shit and make it look real. Like that they were actually from the deepest parts of the jungle or whatever. That they were head shrinkers. I think that's what they were.
That's not. I met. What's his name?
I want to say it was Haku.
No. No. What's his name? Was one of the head shrinkers. The Uso brothers.
Their dad.
Yeah, he was in that. Rikishi was in Head Shrinkers, right?
Rikishi, yeah. Rikishi.
All right. I'm
gonna
tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I got a flight in Miami, and I dropped off in Newark in 1993. I remember it as clear as day. I was like a sophomore or junior, and I was like a sophomore in high school, and they happened to be on the same flight, and I recognized them. And I went up to, I didn't know what his name at the time. I just knew him as Rikishi, and that's what I was looking to see. I was looking to see if they went to an act. They didn't.
Yeah.
You know what Rikishi said to me? You know what Rikishi said to me? He said, "You come back from Miami?" I was like, "No, the Keys." He's like, "Lots of bikinis down there, man." I was like 16. That's exactly what he said to me. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I heard he is a cool, fun dude.
Yeah, he was pretty fun.
They're Rikishi.
Yeah, they had that weird. You know why I recognize him? The weird manager the Head Shrinkers had. He's like huge.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Which guy was that?
I don't know who that
I ran into a wrestler at the airport. And he was being a dick to everybody. Bautista.
Oh wow, that's the guy from.
You met Batista.
He was being a he was being a dick. He
really?
He was ordering coffee and being a big old dick, and I think he was just trying to get.
I'm a 5-time world champion.
No, seriously, I think he was trying to get people to just leave him alone. So he was ordering like a coffee just like in a really dick way and kind of like side-eyeing people, like don't fucking talk to me, which I can understand. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want people to approach you, and people shouldn't. Let the guy live his life.
Was this before or after he became a movie star?
This was, probably say this is like around 2007.
So this would have been before this would probably been. He might have done that James Bond movie before that. I don't know, because he played a villain in one of the Bond movies, and the time stands still at some point between 2000, let's say 4 and now. And it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, the PlayStation 3 came out in this year. I couldn't tell you. Like, it's all the same. It's all the same, Jenna. The last, 20 years are a wild blur of just... I don't even remember now. It's so blurry. I see nothing, Jenna.
You see nothing.
What happened, Jenna? Who am I?
You know what we did see? We saw Jacksfilms get doxxed a couple of days ago.
Oh, he lives at 123
Stop.
Fake
Okay,
Street.
stop it, Vito. Chill out, Vito.
Oh, come on, Jenna. It's me, Vito. Don't you want me here to just pull up to a guy's house? I'm Vito. Vito Jizwadi.
This whole thing is such a shit show. What the fuck? What is this? I mean...
So, I think she's a bad person.
I have never seen, like, the whole internet basically rally around, like, somebody actually, like, getting kicked off the platform. If that's not, like, a pedophile or something.
It's frightening.
Well, she's going to go straight to OnlyFans, right?
She may have to. She'd do fine on it. Let's be honest. She'd do great on it.
She wouldn't do...
She'd do fine.
Would she know how to even do it though without her husband? Who,
I think she can manage
without him producing.
They weren't actually married in the documents, the divorce documents.
Well, you've got the documents.
No, I don't have the documents.
Jenna has the documents, the photographs.
No. What happened?
She's seen the evidence.
Charles. What happened was
it's real.
They were just like domestic partnership because they had been living together for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a what do they call
common
it?
law.
Common law marriage.
It was a common law.
Yeah.
So
if me and Tommy lived together for 8 years,
I'm pretty sure that she could manage an OnlyFans account without him.
Jenna, you have so much faith in these girls.
It's not fucking rocket science, Charles.
Oh, listen, I don't think it.
Have you seen seen the absolute state of some of these girls? And I'm not knocking like all of them, but I've seen like some of these OnlyFans girls give their takes on things. Let's say if they're fine with setting up a camera and like taking shots of their titties. It's not rocket science. They can do it.
But can they come up with a good rollout?
She doesn't need to. She doesn't need to
promote the content.
She's not going to need to.
You think she just spread eagles it
she
right
has
there
5
on
million
OnlyFans and instantly old Jed's a millionaire?
She has 5 million Instagram followers.
Oh yeah.
She's not a nobody. She's not a nobody starting out.
What if they did the Alex Jones? What if this leads to her being Alex Jones? Everybody bans her. Like she gets the ban from Instagram.
She
YouTube,
won't get the
TikTok,
she won't get the ban from OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans will welcome her with open. They'll open the floodgates. Come on in, honey. We love whores here. Whores welcome. That's our logo.
Tommy, do you think that would be the good move for her?
I'm not sure. I don't think
she'd probably move to Pornhub. She would prefer to be on like an open platform, right?
Well, you think it doesn't really matter what
her audience could find.
I'm sure she's going to be able to make money. You have that many followers, even if you do kind of get shut down, or there's other places to go. It's never going to be as lucrative as YouTube or Twitch or something like that. But she'll still be. She's got quite the following.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter.
I'd assume she's on Twitch and stuff like that too, like your Twitches.
Yeah, and if this is Twitch, they probably would have canned Jacksfilms. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they would have.
They'd be like, I'm sorry.
Oh, they do guys so dirty. They do not like it when the fellas get one over on one of their whores. That's one thing that you know, what a platform Amazon has there.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how that's going to stay. How long? What's longer for this world, GameStop or Twitch?
I don't know. I didn't know GameStop. They ended it in Germany. So
GameStop's still a thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like somehow, Twitch and GameStop are still things.
Twitch isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But you're not going to see like the next like Ninja come up anymore. None of that's going to happen anymore.
So you don't think there's a guy who could get over enough on Twitch?
I think that's done.
I
don't think you're gonna see like a new meta of stuff like that anymore. I think it's just garbage, and I don't think that Kick is going to. I don't think Kick's gonna be around that long.
You think they're too outlaw?
It's not so much that. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't think it has anything to do with like the freedom of speech.
Did Muda tell you something about Kick? I'm a little surprised you're saying this.
No. It actually has to do with. I mean, look who started it.
Who did start it? I've never used it.
Yeah, Jenna, act like I'm Charles and explain it to me.
I will act like you're Charles and I'll explain it to you. You know the steak guys?
The state guys.
The guys, Lieutenant.
So
Dangle,
we have
the state?
it's mostly it's God damn it, it's hard to explain. The people that started it are not known to be not that everybody is like an honest person like in business, let's face it, but
so you're saying they're crooks?
They're crooks, and they're allegedly crooks, and
okay, allegedly crooks.
and I have to get reminded to say allegedly sometimes, because sometimes I don't, and I just don't give a fuck. But yeah, like it's not it's hype right now, but I guess it may not be going anywhere, because I guess Storyfire is making its way back, Tommy.
Oh yeah, there we go. The #1 app for alleged video content, Storyfire. Alleged content app.
Have you logged onto it recently, Tommy?
No, I haven't.
Is it? I don't think. I tried to watch a Wang video on there once. He had one that was like too hot for YouTube. Hey, come watch my video on fucking Storyfire. It's too hot for YouTube. And I tried to watch it on there, and I was like, I couldn't get the shit to work. I said, fuck this website. Fuck them forever. Done. Storyfire's dead to me, Jenna.
So, what's his face really own that? I guess.
Nobody,
Sky.
I guess, is like the CEO now.
Didn't they sell it? I heard they sold the Storyfire.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of difference. Yeah.
It's a lot of allegations going around, huh? The ghost of Macho Man bought it.
I don't know if this is. Nobody knows about the paper. There's a lot of different. They should. It should just be dead. Come on, like we need to stop it. Like we need to just stop trying to reignite this. No pun intended. But,
I like the video Scott and Minecraft did. I thought it was hysterical.
Yes.
When he announced it, it was awesome.
I mean, at this point, no. I mean, I don't think it really. It had the right idea at the beginning.
Oh no! There's some things I really liked about it, to be honest with you. But
so the pitch that I had heard was that they wanted to be like Image Comics kind of thing, where it's a creator-owned kind of thing, and so people would have more retention of the rights to do stuff like that. That is that tracking? Is that what Storyfire's deal was? Something like that? Or am I confusing that with one of these other butthole websites?
I think it was more of a censorship thing, and
I think
they
that's
being able to get sponsors and still be able to do all sorts of content that YouTube wouldn't give you a green thing on, which was funny because they never really, I don't know anybody that made a time on there. But no matter, I think the only guy that really did well was like Optimus.
Yeah.
He kind of killed it. It was really, and he's really good at the social media thing. But there were some things cool. They had like a sort of an integrated chat where you like the creators could sort of post and go kind of back and forth with each other, and then there's a lot of good things about it, to be honest with you. And they said they wouldn't suspend you for stupid shit, and I got suspended for a month.
For what?
I put like, you remember those? They said guess they had those pictures like. Guess who's coming to Storyfire?
Yeah.
I put a picture of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I remember that now.
that wasn't well appreciated.
That's a good one, though.
Guess who's coming to Storyfire?
That was a good one.
I think we did a goof. Billy Mitchell was coming, and then he actually did come. That was really funny. And yeah, we're goofing around like, yeah, Billy Mitchell's coming to Storyfire, and he actually did come that week or some shit. It was pretty funny.
Did you ever get paid?
Not in time. I never got monetized. So, well, maybe I don't even remember how it worked.
Nobody got paid. Nobody got paid. No, I think that was just a big problem with it. Nobody got paid. That's just, the thing is, there was a buzz about it. People were pushing it. Keem was pushing it, and they should have been able to say, like, can we pay these guys if we're able to attract a certain amount of people, and the answer was no. So there goes Storyfire. You're not going to retain people if you can't get them paid. So, but for a while, Optimus was the king of Storyfire. He killed it. Yeah. He's kind of been around to a lot of different platforms, because didn't he have like a Facebook streaming deal at one point.
He really is. Like, he first of all, he's one of the nicest guys I've met in this stupid business. Like, really, like he seems pretty. I mean, he's a dork and everything, but in such a genuine way. And most people aren't.
Innocent.
I wouldn't say that. No, that implies that he's kind of stupid. He's anything else, but he's not naive at all.
No, not naive. No.
No, but he's like, I think I'll put it this way: he's a gamer, and but at the same time, no, he seems one of the more genuine people that I've met. And I had very few interactions with him, but yeah, Optimus is he knows these platforms. He knows the way he's a smart guy. He knows that, and what's the most important thing? He connects with people with the subjects that he likes to talk about. So,
yeah,
real good guy.
I think that's lacking. That's lacking.
Yeah.
It's big time lacking.
Well, your boyfriend's the master of that. I mean, Jesus, like he talks right to your soul. He really connects with these kids. It's amazing. And did I tell you how wonderful and great he was? And you should tell him I said that.
Yeah, I will. I'll totally
tell him how wonderful I think he is. In all his opinion, I rarely disagree with him.
You know, it's funny. Like there are things like on YouTube that sometimes we fundamentally disagree with, and there are people that we fundamentally disagree with.
You can't see that being true.
But for the most part, because there's some people like, he's not naive. He's not naive in any way, shape, or form. But I'm one of those people. Really that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And
you're his naivete. I forget the actual word. No, but he gives people a chance.
Naivete.
Yeah. You give people. You're like me. You don't give any. I assume the worst.
I don't care. Yeah. And it's funny. There's so many people that something will happen, and I'll just say, "This is going to end bad for this person, and here's why." And it might take a while.
You sound like the Tommy C of Mudahar's girlfriends.
You know what I did? Okay, remember that? What was her nut? What's her nuts? The one that fucked over Mikey Mitch.
You're right about Tipster, I guess, huh?
I was,
yeah,
and that took a while. It's so funny. Like during that whole thing, Mudahar kept telling me, he goes, "It's gonna take a while, but everybody will find out you're right later." It took a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Nick, and he says, Dojangles, she's kind of right about Tipster. After we got to kind of admit it, I was like, yeah, you're right. He's like, should we kind of tell her? He's like, no one does that to me. Let her think she fucking nobody noticed. So I don't tell her she's right. Nobody tells me I'm right.
I already knew I was right. So.
Nobody tells me I'm right. Nobody should tell her she's right. So let her just think that nobody believes her, and then if she brings it up, say, no, that's not what you said.
There was somebody I ended up being right about, and it was actually something that she said on your show.
Who's that?
It was the one that fucked over Mikey Mitch, the Australian chick. Now I can't remember her name.
Mikey.
Yeah.
She had a meltdown on one of my after shows. You know that?
Did she really?
Yeah, I don't want to get into politics of this, but I made it abundantly clear. It wasn't new. I think it was new for her. I'm anti-abortion. You can disagree with me or hate me, whatever. I'm anti-abortion, and I said that in the show, right? I go, I know I said something like, no, it's unusual for an atheist, but I'm 100% against it. And she started. Like she came in the show and just and started giving me like, well, what if the woman's this and what if the was? Look, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. That's what I believe. I go, I don't like I know this is probably new for you, but that's the position I've taken. It's not. And then she started asking me, when somebody like they can't believe you believe what you believe, so they ask you a question. The same question over and over in a different way.
That you've been asked it like a million times.
But they ask it a different way, and I finally kind of called her out on it. It's like, well, you don't have to fucking like it, There's something like that happened. I never heard from her again.
What ended up happening with her is, like, I knew that she had fucked over Mitch. Mitch is a good guy.
I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah, like she was on Shockmouth. She was on Shockmouth stream a lot. And then as soon as she started rubbing shoulders with like Keem and Chad and all them,
I didn't know that.
She found an excuse to disassociate from him for like a bullshit reason.
Really?
Yeah. You can ask Mitch about it. It's pretty fucked. It's fucked.
Are you thinking of the girl that? No. You thinking about that girl that kind of got hot for a while? She made parodies.
Twizzfizz. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Twizzfizz.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about. I was talking about somebody else.
Okay, no.
Twizzfizz.
So this was her, and something that she had said on your show.
Yeah.
When she was like, "I'm one of the boys. Like, treat me like one of the boys," and I was like, "That right there is gonna fuck her over." And I remember telling somebody about that. I was like, okay, she wants to get treated like one of the boys, and she's not going to like it when she did.
I'll tell you something. You're talking about Twizzfizz. We were already on to her at that point.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I have a policy. I don't have female friends. I have acquaintances and friends of my wife, but that's just like, it's probably how I've kept myself out of trouble.
I was about to say that kept you out of trouble. There's never been anything even remotely shadow casted of doubt in that arena when it comes to you, because you've been careful, and that's
it's not even careful. It's just I don't think it's about it. Careful, man. Like, you have to resist something to be careful. So like, I guess the closest thing me and Seth I consider her a friend. Mm-hmm. But it's just like I really can't. I'm 47 years old, and I have 2 children and a wife. And she's my girl, and I don't have girlfriends. That's like, and here's the thing: when I was a kid, and I had my best girlfriend, I wanted to sleep with her, and I was hoping that she'd break up with her boyfriend so she would. I mean, all that stuff's true and real, and it's just I don't think it makes me a pig. I think it just makes me human and a guy.
It's true. You're being honest.
And I can afford to be honest at my age. And I think it's also human nature too. Like, I remember like when I was in Iraq, and they're like, you're not allowed to have sex while you're here, but yet we have all these female soldiers around. Well, you can't stop that. That's like telling the fucking like the lion's not the fuck. I mean, like they're animals. Yeah. So it's one of the ways you avoid temptation is. Like, because what it is, like, are you friends with Dojangles? Yeah, I'm friendly with her, right?
Yeah.
I'm friends with her, but it's not like you're going to be leaning. Most people consider a friend somebody that you're going to, if you're trouble with Moodle Heart and don't do it, don't come to me. No. That's not my fucking job. I'm married. But that's what I think friends do. But I think there's like a level below that where we can be friendly and I guess call each other friends, but there's no...
Not deep conversation.
You don't lay anything heavy on me, and I don't lay anything heavy on you. But we could be friends or friendly. Exactly. It's got to be somewhere. But see, when you start saying acquaintance, that sounds like I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, that's like somebody in passing. Exactly. Like, I have a lot of YouTube acquaintances, and like I said, like there's a lot of people I don't give a shit about, but there are people that I like. They're my friends, and So
circle back though. Circle back to like that's what I said to her. It's like I don't have female friends, and she took exception to that. And she took exception to that, and she said, "Why? Why not?" And I remember thinking, because I don't trust you as far as I can fucking throw you. You're gonna turn around. You're gonna turn around. I had said it to the other guys. Like, everybody thought I was. If you remember, everybody thought I was nuts. Even Verse came in. And
there are people that said I was nuts. They were like, oh, is it because she's a girl and she's starting to pop off? And I'm like, no, it's not it at all. Trust me, you'll see.
There was a few things she said. And then I was like, no, it was a similar thing. I was like, this is what I believe, and that's what I do. And certainly we can be friendly. I could treat you with respect. And, you could be treated like everybody else, which also means getting fucking canceled and fucked over. That you want to be like one of the boys? Well, you ended up like John Swan.
That's what happened.
Yeah, so you kind of did. And then I was in the Netherlands, and she was obviously making a move on John, right? And then she made a move on Nick, and that was the end of it. Yeah. She wanted to turn this like, oh, it's so hard to be in this space with these guys. I'm like, wait a minute. All everybody ever did was put you over and tell you how great and talented you were.
Yeah, they did.
Try to keep.
They did.
She was brought into our community, put over as somebody who's talented, and she turned around and was like, it's hard for a girl to make it in here. Like, she pulled that shit. Like, what do you mean?
She did. She did, and that was.
So you picked. I picked up on it too.
It
and
totally made me mad because I'm like, it's really not. I might say it's a little bit, but you can't go in there and go, I'm one of the boys, because if you get treated like one of the boys when you're not one of the boys, it's gonna sting. You're gonna hit the ground.
Yeah, you got.
Really
Well, she did get
hard.
treated, and eventually she wasn't getting treated one of the boys because nobody gets a break. She got a break, so I wouldn't say she got a break because she got a break because of her talent. She did funny stuff.
Yeah,
She was
actually
talented.
did.
Song parodies.
She
were
really
very
did.
funny.
I
really
gave her
talented.
that totally.
Yeah, but she wanted to come in and be some fucking like victim, and yeah, she did screw over Mikey Mitch.
She did.
She wanted to come in like that. They wanted to be hard. Like I struggled through all these guys who didn't treat me with respect or do this and that. That's what she wanted. She wanted that sort of.
You get
backstory
over
or
respect
something.
when you're like, okay, if you're a girl in the community and you get yourself surrounded in a certain genre in the community, like I'd say I'm like more like as far as like commentary adjacent. Like I know a lot of people in commentary, but that's not something that I really get that much into. But like other people who like are video essayists, I have never. People are actually more willing to help you when you're a girl, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. I will say people are more willing to help you, and
Sure.
you know, and there's a lot of them that I've had people gas me up when I know they're bullshitting, because when you are a girl, you do kind of have to like decide like, do they fuck with your stuff or are they trying to fuck you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the downside. But I mean,
there is, but you know what? If you're not a total idiot, you're gonna be able to put who is who in each pile, you know. And there are people that
women. Mm-hmm. I always wondered the women that complain about guys coming onto them. It's like, that day's coming to an end one day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, how are you gonna feel when nobody gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's probably gonna be I'm a victim because nobody gives a shit. You know, or something like that.
If anything, it should, it should flatter you a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, there's a limit to.
There's a limit because I had, I did have somebody who was really, really obnoxious. Somebody, okay, I'm not going to name names right now, but you'll probably be able to figure out somebody who quit the platform like some months ago. They said that they retiring and they left.
And they actually left?
They left. They
not like leaving Twitter left.
They did actually leave Twitter.
Everybody's
No.
Twitter.
They deleted it, and somebody actually, I think, made a phony baloney account today because I got a follow from that account again.
Oh, I know who that
is.
I know who we're talking about.
It was Internet of Jay.
Oh yeah, he followed me too. Is that really him?
I don't think so. I actually don't think it's him. I don't think it's him.
I don't think it's him.
I showed it to Muda, and he was like, "Oh, he missed you." He was teasing me. I was like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Did he come on to you?
Oh, he was one of those that I was able to figure it out really quickly because he came into my DMs. I didn't know him. Came into my DMs going, "Oh yeah, like I just watched like all of your videos and they're really, really good. And you would probably really pop off if you did like drama content." And I said, "Yeah, that's really not my. I like to like watch some of it, but I don't like to do it. That's just not my thing."
Yeah, I don't believe that. By the way, we can have that conversation later. You're perfect for drama.
You know what? I have been told that so much.
You are perfect for drama. Your Twitter account's always on fire. Who the fuck are you kidding? You know.
And he was like, "You'd be perfect for it." And I was like, I don't know. And then like maybe like a week later, like I was talking about, because I made some video and I said, I really don't know like how to, like, I was talking about like I'm kind of stuck on something. And he goes, "Here, I haven't watched any of your videos. Let me go back and look at them real quick." And I was like,
This is before or after Muda?
This is before. You know what? Okay, I'll tell you a story.
You Indian guys? I'm surprised you didn't give him a chance, you know?
No, like, see, that's the thing. See, that's the thing that's funny. I'm going to tell you guys a story that I never told publicly.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've never told it publicly, but
Have I heard this
not
one?
You have, I'm pretty sure. He's not on the platform anywhere, so fuck it, I don't care. So, actually, because I met Mudahar at fake VidCon.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
the first one where they weren't doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
Jay was planning on going, and I hadn't met him. Like we were, like Mudahar and I were acquainted, but we hadn't met yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is some months before the because the actual con got canceled because of COVID. You know, like
they
got canceled again.
Nick was there.
Nick went, and he didn't fucking go to any like real like events too. Like he pussied out of everything.
I wouldn't have done that either. I wouldn't have done that either. I would have gone to every bar I could have.
Yeah, like he missed so much. So, and like Jay was planning on going, and I don't think he had ever traveled alone by himself. So he kept messaging me going like, I don't know where to stay because I'm from the area. He was like, I don't know where to stay, and I was like, go on Expedia and fucking like rent something. I don't know. There's like a lot of hotels. There's a lot of fucking places around here.
Oh no.
And then he was like, okay, this was the funniest fucking part, and I was cold blooded as shit for this. Okay, didn't care. He was like, man, you know, like an Uber from like LAX to Anaheim, that's gonna be really expensive.
Should have flown to Anaheim, you dipshit.
And so I just kind of sat there like, I don't know if he's trying to ask me to pick him up from the airport or something. So I was just like, yeah, you got to make sure when you come out of the terminal to go across the street to the Uber to the Uber pillar. Some people don't know that.
How far is it, Anna? It's not that far, though.
It's from LAX with, like, no traffic. So it's like 45 minutes.
So it's about a $100, $150, $200 ride.
Yeah, it is. but he was talking about how much money he was making on YouTube and fucking bragging about it all the time. So a guy like that, he can afford it, right?
Don't worry, Mudahar took one, too.
But see, we hadn't met yet, and that was the joke. The thing about it is he was the joke of everybody all weekend long.
He's autistic. Leave him alone, poor guy.
Yeah, like, but everybody was like every 5 seconds because he was gonna go. So he told me, I don't know where to stay. And probably like maybe like 2 weeks before, he messaged me. He's like, oh, I found a place to stay. And I was like, oh, great. He's like, yeah, like Mudahar invited me to stay with him in like Mexico. And that's at that time, I didn't know him really. So I was like, oh, see, cool. It worked out for you. So
that's so funny.
We don't think he ever booked a flight or anything because he missed like, I guess like 2 flights.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah. Yes, he's kind of autistic.
He wasn't. I don't think he was really ready to kind of go out and.
I love the fact that he had a love phones too. He gave like love advice. I always thought that was.
I was
really
on
funny.
that. I was on that.
I
was on that.
Okay.
I remember seeing that.
This was the cat. Okay. So this is something else that happened. So he asked me. This is kind of. This is before I kind of I started getting like sick of like the obvious like, you know, like he's throwing out bait and I you know, I probably he wasn't taking the hint, but you know, I'm not nice to everybody, but like if you want to talk about YouTube content, I have a problem with that. And he asked me to do this, and I was like, okay, yeah. For sure, because you don't really have to date anybody that you pick. It's just for fun. I was like, yeah, I know that.
He said it as a joke, but he really meant it. I get it. One of those.
Yeah, actually, you have to marry them. That's our show.
This.
You marry a guy.
And I had a couple of friends in chat. Like I had Oki, and I had a couple of people like, you know, they were kind of watching out for me because I kind of knew like what he was up to. He starts saying, like, can you list all the ethnicities you fucked? And I just sat there like, my jaw just fucking dropped. Like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I had everybody, like, my messages were lighting up with people going, oh, my God. And I just kind of sat there. And I told him later, like, you kind of went a little too far with some of these questions. I said, I kind of rolled with it, but, like, what was your MO here? And people were like, oh, he's just trying to find out for himself. I'm like, I know that, but like, it was so embarrassing. And then it was probably a couple weeks later. I hadn't seen the clip of him saying white girls are the loosest, in my opinion.
Oh, God.
That one clip because I this is before anybody really knew who Dumpy was. He was just coming up.
Yeah.
And Dumpy tweeted at me and just randomly and said, how loose is it? And And I don't even know him. And I'm like,
he was probably living with his parents at 16 at the time. That was a long time ago. Because he's just recently.
He was like,
it's
how
pretty
is
funny.
it? And I didn't understand. So I just said back, like, I don't know, ask your dad. I don't know him.
Oh, God.
And then this is when John Swan and I were kind of like, we were like, okay, we're not anymore.
Yeah.
But we were kind of okay. And I got a message from him going, he just starts talking about something else. And then he kind of segues into a J. And he goes, oh, so I saw like your little appearance on Love Guru. And I was like, did you now? And he was like, yeah, did you know about this thing that he said like a week later about white girls? And I was like, what? No, I didn't. And he sent me the clip and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird that he would say that. And so I messaged the Jay and I said, hey, like, what the fuck's up with that?
Was he
like,
joking around though? I mean, like, was he joking around?
I think he was being a little serious. I think he was being slightly serious.
So you think he really believed sincerely that white women were
I think he was definitely, because he went around telling people he wanted to get laid at VidCon. So
I've met more. I've slept with more white women than any other women, so maybe he's right. I don't know. Boy.
What is your body count?
I
wasn't
don't
like
remember.
the most pissed, but I did just kind of ask him about it, and he started getting way too apologetic, and he goes, oh my God, I'm going to delete the VOD. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I said, everybody already has a VOD. It's not a big deal. Like, you know, just like, I just wanted to ask you about this because you were asking me all these like crazy ass questions, and now you're saying this. Like, I just want to know, like, what's the deal?
What did he say? It was like separate. It was a joke or something like that.
No, he didn't. He said, "Oh my God, I'm just so sorry." That's just in my.
So do you think in his experience? Yeah, he's a pussy king, right?
No, he's not.
No, yeah,
I don't think he's ever touched one. I'm gonna be honest.
Pussy king. I think he's more pussy than king.
He's never touched one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You think he's a 40-year-old virgin?
He's not 40.
Him and Mudahar met actually.
How did that go?
I remember that. He had that
Mudahar had a flight.
salt and pepper beard going.
Mudahar had a flight that was canceled, and he had to kind of like detour into DC, and that's around about where Ajay lives. So Ajay found that out. He was going around asking people for his phone number.
Two Indian titans of YouTube. What happens when two Titan Indians of YouTube get together? I would have loved a bit of fly in the wall there.
This is like already like well into us being together, and I noticed that Ajay was looking at my Instagram stories like the whole weekend, so you know he knew who I was with, you know, like that was obvious. So they meet up at a bar, and Ajay's just like, so like what were you doing, you know? And so he's just answering like what he's doing for the week, and he's like, oh, so like who were you with?
Get some white sluts. That's what I'm in DC for.
Fucking knew. Like, what was?
Where the loose women at?
Where all the white women at?
Yeah, where the white women at?
So it's so funny to me. So it's like he deleted his Twitch channel not long after that.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his reason for leaving the internet? He hasn't deleted his YouTube channel, has he?
He told a lot of people he did X, Y, and Z for a living, and then he came out and said he was an investment banker, which I didn't believe. And then he said, but his YouTube channel he wanted it to be popping all the time, but you know what? It's ebb and flow.
Yeah, sure.
And he wasn't. When it wasn't flowing, he would get discouraged and want to quit. So eventually he just quit because his videos kind of started getting a little too... wasn't stepping up his game, and he should have been. Because I think if he would have been okay. Like, it would have been fine.
What was he going to do? I mean, he's stepping up his game. Like he goes, okay, bitches, you hookers out there and all you white women.
He honestly could have. Like, he could have gone just super based instead of like...
That would have been fun.
Instead of robot. But he did have a lot of fans.
Imagine he goes full king. He puts on a crown. He starts saying stuff, yelling,
could have.
screaming.
I really honestly think he could have, but he couldn't deal with not getting a shit ton of views every video, so he quit. Like, I think
really?
Like
it's an ego thing.
It was. He had an ego, like never, like really? Absolutely. He was one of those. I'm the king of YouTube. When you talk, it's funny because it was like you talk to a guy like him, who I don't even think he had
that good.
He had barely just reached like 100K, which that's nothing to sneeze at. That's great.
No,
that's
a real accomplishment.
That's really, really great.
Yeah.
But he was talking like he was the king of YouTube, and then you talk to somebody with like, 3.5-4 million subscribers. They don't talk like that.
Yeah.
They don't talk like they know
it's always
everything.
the guys in the middle. It's never the guys in the bottom or the top.
Yeah.
It's always the assholes in the middle that haven't made it yet.
It is. It really honestly is, because it's like if I don't know something, like I can go to Muhar and go, I don't understand like what I should do here. And I've had that with like the podcast. Like I don't understand what I should do. And he's like, make clips, do this. But he's not constantly giving me unsolicited advice, because when you are a girl on YouTube, you will get a lot of unsolicited advice.
Yeah, like give me your number.
Yeah, exactly. I can help you out with. I had a problem once when I was trying to stream a whole bunch, and I was having issues with like Streamlabs, and I had probably like 6 guys hop in a VC, and they were all arguing about like which button I should push, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm fucking not doing this. This is stupid.
Hey, do you ever laugh at Anissa Joma and it's like, I didn't have to be a total when you like I got a you got a big YouTuber, I got a big YouTuber, and I'd have to be a total whore to get one.
I didn't have to get with him and immediately put him on my streams.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell anybody. We didn't even fucking tell anybody. We actually didn't even come out until like the tipster shit, when he like, and he's the one who outed it in a reply. So
we did. I didn't know. Yeah. See, I didn't know that. I had no idea until the tipster stuff happened.
It was,
and then
I
guess
he replied.
We hadn't even gotten to it. I totally don't remember, but I know like because Matt always says this. He goes, you and her got into a tiff, and I'm like, yeah, but was it like a misunderstanding or something? Or like what happened?
You were streaming about the situation because there was no news going on, so you got to talk about
I think I was goofing on you, and you took it too personal.
No, I didn't. I don't know where that came from.
Oh, really?
I just said because people...
What happened? No, like, remind me, because then I will remember.
You were live talking about it. I didn't really care. Like, I know. I've been a lurker of your streams for like since like 2016. Yeah, I guess.
You remember Scarce, so you were talking about that before.
I know how it goes with you. So it's like I don't take it seriously. So, but people were messaging me going, "Oh my God, he's talking about you right now," blah blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, there's nothing going on." But then they were like, "Oh, he wants this. He wants to see like if he really like friend requested Paige the Panda on Facebook."
And what was the drama? I totally forget. I'm not trying to be like
the drama was I made fun of him on Twitter. I put some ridiculous stupid joke out there, and he had me blocked at the time. Okay. I made some ridiculous,
but he was still following
somehow. I made some ridiculous joke, and then he unfollows me and calls me a pick-me girl.
Okay.
And it kind of escalated from there. And there was a lot of people like, yeah, get that bitch. You had like Turkey Tom and like fucking like Diorio. Like, get that bitch.
Oh yeah,
and then Mudahar replies.
Oh, and then that's the thing. But what did I say? How did I call the situation though? I can't remember.
You were just like the only thing that you said at that time because nobody really got my complete side of it. But that's okay because it doesn't matter. And now, because it's like, my thing was, I just said, he could be a nice guy, and no, I don't think he's a pedo or anything, but I just think it's weird to have try to make all these meaningful friendships with women online.
Now, because... so I criticized you for, like, it was more like one of those, because I've said this before, like, if his wife doesn't care, who cares, right?
Well, it was like... Because I didn't like him from years ago because he would do that follow-unfollow bullshit like constantly.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
He did that for literal since like 2018.
So weird.
And then when Paige he fucked up something for Paige. Because you know a lot about that situation too.
Yeah, Paige and Panda was like, I don't want Matt here. You
were there. You were there for the Lion Maker interview.
Yes. Like, so it was Paige and Panda. It was that Paige the Panda. Okay.
Yeah. And so he had given her something, and then he fucked it up somehow. And don't even ask me because it's been so long. And Paige didn't want to talk to him anymore. And then he got that account deleted.
Yeah.
Because he was getting accounts like yeeted left and right. So what happened was,
he liked fighting with pedophile furries. They were constantly reporting him in Discord.
And he was like, she just kind of wanted to not associate with him, but she has a private Twitter and everything, and she only does that to like talk to like us, like me and Clown, and like just to kind of do that. And he kept requesting her, and she wasn't letting it through. So he went and he looked for her on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of weird. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't like that, and because what
was the specific thing like between me and you? Like what we had a thing. We
really didn't. I don't know who's saying that because we really didn't. It was just you did one episode on it. And you know, you were just kind of like goofing and gaffing, and you really didn't say anything like too outrageous. It was just like a Tommy thing. It was like it wasn't that big of a deal.
I wish I remember. I'm gonna go back and figure it out.
All I said, I just DM'd Matt because I would have hopped on that day, but I was at work, and I was like, all right, like I have the screenshot because you were like, I don't even believe, you said something like, I don't even believe that he did that. So I just took the screenshot of the tipster like friend request and I just sent it to Matt and I said, here, just show it to Tommy.
Send me the like maybe I owe you an apology. I don't know.
No, I don't. You know what?
Apologize.
It's so.
Why won't you apologize?
I got vindicated. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Willie Mack said, never doubt Doe again, y'all. I was like, see?
Well, now you know what it's like to be me.
Yeah.
Don't be a Doe doubter.
I seem to remember it was something like I made a crack and I thought you took it literal. And then everybody's saying to me privately, you know who she's dating. you know what she did.
No.
Then it became kind of like, for me, it was like, well, I'm not going to show that I'm afraid. You know,
no,
or that stuff like that. And then I wonder if that, because like, you know, because I've been watching it, like we've followed each other for like a year now. We're kind of on the same wavelength on a lot of things.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
we are. We actually,
really are.
I'm not. It doesn't. It's like things. I think like things sometimes when people say shit. Like, you look at somebody like Anissa. Anissa's bothered by every 28 follower account that calls her a whore.
Yeah.
She fights with 58 these fucking, like, who the hell cares? Like, literally, like, Mudahar posted a picture of us together, and people were playing tic-tac-toe on my forehead in replies. I thought it was funny as fuck. I thought it was totally funny as fuck, and it's not that big of a deal, and it's not something to, like, cry over, because you don't know these people. Yeah. And when people wanted to like so very, very badly make it like I'm an Anissa 2.0, and I'm just like, how? But how? Anissa's one of those. So. Anissa's one of those people. Like, I'm highly educated, but she never actually finished college. She says she knows about nutrition. Yeah. I actually have a degree. I have a career, and I'm not going to do OnlyFans. And that's not a knock.
You know why I know you're legit? You're all with this loser drama, guys. There's no way you could be like doing this to get money. Well, I mean, if you are getting money, good for you. There's no way you could be in this. You're going about it the hardest way possible. Yeah. So there's no fucking way that there's any kind of stuff there. I mean, obviously there's going to be some advantages. With your boyfriend, but guess what? That's like the upside of being a chick. You know, I mean, like, so what?
Yeah, women.
It's like, you know, it's like he's
I married somebody who had a lot more
not
money than me. I don't fucking apologize for
Here's
it.
the thing about it.
Oh, look at you cheating.
I make pretty decent money. I have a good career. I have a good head on my shoulders. He doesn't pay my bills. I'm not a gold digger. I won't let him buy me expensive shit. I won't even let him buy me expensive shit.
I actually think that's a mistake. I actually think that's a mistake. You should let him buy you.
Yeah, if he wanted to buy me stuff.
No, I mean he's gonna build me a new PC. That's great.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
He'll be because he's
let him buy you stuff. That's a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake, and I'll tell you why. Because like when I'm going to tell you from a guy's perspective and all. Is he in his 30s now?
He's almost 30. He'll be 30.
He's almost 30, and this is gonna really kick in. Like, one of the things, like, you can't, like, the whole thing when you're 20 is the hunt, right? In your 30s, if you're in a serious relationship or marriage, the hunt's over. Now you want to flex, right? Yeah. So if you don't let him flex, you know, and say, look what I got, my girlfriend, then you're kind of like you're kicking a leg out from under the sink.
You're not letting him show.
Let him do it.
I do let him do is like he likes to like he is one of those guys that's really smart with his money.
He's smart, period.
Very, very smart, and he's even smarter with his money.
Too.
But he likes to eat bougie. He likes to eat bougie. He likes to stay at bougie places. And I remember one of the very first times we were at a really fancy place. I'm just one of those people like don't spend that much money, you know. And like they hand me the wine list, like because when we go all out. Michelin star places, like let's fucking go. They hand me the wine list, and he goes pick, and so he knows I'm gonna automatically look over at the prices. And so
he picked the one with Frankenstein
sticks his whole entire hand over the thing, and he goes, "Pick a bottle and don't look at it." And so I was like, "Well, I like that." Cool. You know,
nice.
So he'll do that kind of stuff. And there are times I let him take me into certain stores, and he'll be like, "Okay, I want to buy you something." Nuts. But most of the time,
because it feels good. Like I know from like Christmas, if I got so many gifts on the trees, and that came from my money or our vacation or something like that. And like I said, she makes a lot more money. She's an accountant. I'm a fucking idiot, you know. And like it's always nice around Christmas. Like, I did that. So you got to let him do it to some extent. Except let me get this out. Except the fact that everybody's going to say you didn't earn anything and it was all his, and then let him take you out. Just accept that's what the public perception is going to be, whether it's true or not. Yeah. You know, it is.
And at some point you have to go because I've heard a lot of different crazy shit about me. That's obviously not true.
I've never heard anything that I've only heard that you're direct. I've never heard anything.
I heard you smoke cigars and that you reek of elderberries.
We do in Vegas. We go to cigar bars in Vegas. It's great.
Really?
They got their own walk-in humidors.
No, you just have to kind of like, you know what? People are going to... Here's the thing that I want to shout at somebody like Anissa, but she's not going to get it. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. If people are hell-bent on hating you, they're going to do it anyway. So fuck it. Do what you want. You know?
She wants... But what she wants, then you don't have it totally down. What she wants is not buyable, which is probably unsurprising to somebody who's probably terminally unsatisfied. She wants respect. You can't really buy that. She wants to be seen as sophisticated, as educated, and all that thing. Well, you know, me and you both, you and me both know she's a dummy. I mean, she's literally dumb as a brick. Yeah. But that's what she wants. Yeah. She wants to high maintenance girl wants something nobody can afford, or it's unpurchasable. Shocking, you know. Yeah. Of course.
She has you know. I've tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, which I will say sometimes you will get just a flood of just like, I don't want to always just call it harassment because you're online, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get a flood of hate, but you know when that iDubbbz video where he said Anissa's just literally trying to exist, that's wrong. That's 100%.
That's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Somebody trying to exist.
Like, it's funny that he sees it that way.
It's like Tipster's wife. That's somebody that's not online. That's somebody trying to exist. No, Anissa is very much online, shouting out stupid takes. That's not somebody trying to exist.
No, it isn't. I mean, it's funny that he would even say that.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to wonder: is he saying that to kind of make her look better? Or does he actually believe it? Because if he actually believes it, he's out of his fucking gourd.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
I don't think he does. I think
he has been hit in the face
I think he's trying to get the narrative that, you know, it's poor her. And she got into another dumb fucking argument the other day when she was trying to tell that girl who got into it with H3 on Twitter... And about the whole Palestine thing, and she was like, I don't think Ethan really knows what he's saying here. No, I'm pretty sure fucking Ethan knows what he's saying.
I'm sure he's not I'm guessing, you know, considering like I'm a 9/11 witness, that he's filled with fucking rage, knowing the people in Israel, the country that his wife comes from, were brutally murdered. But Anissa knows that he doesn't really know what he's saying. Somebody who believed that there was a lot to be learned from the Holocaust and all those German doctors.
There was a lot of the doctor that did the experiments on twins, and she's never. You know what I've noticed? You know what makes?
I'm gonna disavow
I'll say
all
the
that.
one thing that really makes me mad.
Yeah.
She gets into all of this stupid shit. Like, I believe Creator Clash was a lot of her idea. because he said
really?
it. Like,
you think?
Everything is, if something good happens, it's, and Ian will say it's all because of Anissa. But when it comes time to sit down and eat crow, he seems to be doing it alone a lot.
Sure feels that way. And then he does it, and she brings up that he fucking has streaks in his pants. Like, what a lousy fucking thing to do.
That's just like even if it's a joke, don't say that.
You live with a fucking guy. Everybody's gonna get that at least once.
Everybody's gonna shit their guy. You're human. And it's like, but you don't.
I mean, come on.
Everybody, you don't need to tell everybody that he farts a lot or anything. Like, it's nobody's business. Jesus fucking Christ.
Christ.
And when everybody's gonna take everything you say and fucking boil it in a pan. Like, why would you even bother saying that?
Well, you know what it told me? That she's really not into him. That's what that told me. Tell me, you're a woman. If you were, like, because I know, like, look, I've been in love before, and I've been in love with Snoop. It's like, you can't, like, I know from being a guy, like, if the girl, you can't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything wrong. In fact, like, I remember,
think he's. You want everybody to think he's just as amazing as you think he is.
It's so funny. I remember I was dating this girl Monica. I was in my mid-20s, and I made a joke, and I've done both ways. I made a small dick joke, right, to my friends, right, and I totally didn't see this coming. I had made big dick jokes too. It's just for fucking laughs. Same thing that Dankula does.
Yeah,
I'll never forget. Like, all right, so can I see you later? Like, and as soon as I shut, you told everybody in there that you had a small penis. And I was like, yeah, and like, I go, do you know how humiliated I feel? I don't think you really care. Like, yes, there were girls in there. And then I'm like, oh, now I get it. I mean, but it was just a joke. It doesn't matter. And she was really, really pissed. And this is not somebody that got mad about stupid shit. This really bothered her. You know why? Because she was in love with me.
Yeah.
She would have never said if she saw fucking skid marks in my underwear under any circumstance, because that would have meant I was a loser. Yeah. So the fact that she came out and said, like, what's wrong with your, like, you have the bowel syndrome or whatever the fuck it is. Like, your irritable bowel. Like, my wife would never do that to me, even though she washes my underwear, which
she's not only said stuff like that. I mean, she
probably says it to her mother in private.
One time I saw her post, like, he painted his nails, whatever, do you? And she goes, and she was telling somebody, I had to paint Ian's nails because he just bites his nails way too much, and this is going to prevent him from doing it. I was like, you're making him look like he's 6 years old. What the fuck? Why are you doing this? Like,
she's probably not that into him. She wanted a YouTuber. She wanted a man. That's what I think.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
It really
because
is.
You know what? It's funny because it's like before that whole... Because like I said, like, nobody can ever say that I was the one who outed us, because they didn't. It wasn't me. And sometimes I think, like, oh, God, it was so much simpler back then, because it was just like...
I do remember getting the feeling like you're kind of new in the scene. You're moving. Who she thinks she is? She's going to, like, is she going to be, like... I'm not saying... Like, I can't remember our beef. I really need to find out.
You know what? There really wasn't. I don't know who's telling you this, but we really didn't. We didn't tweet at each other about it. We didn't. There was nothing.
Well, it was really passive aggressive. Like, didn't I take a few shots at you in the show, or like
you're gonna do that? You're gonna do that. You're gonna do that.
All right.
Because it's fine. And like I said, there was a lot of people jumping on the whole, like, I'm one of the few
people that stick up for guys doing. I'm not a real big into, like, you flirt, you're a degenerate. So I think maybe that was a part of it.
A degenerate.
It was because it was like one of those, like, it was.
Well, you're right. So
it was the simpler times, because it was like everybody was like retweeting it, like, yeah, you get this fucking whore, yeah. It's like,
so
you get,
weird.
and then Mudavar came in and it was like, because Tipster was like, oh, you're just a pick me girl, and he said, don't worry, she's pretty smart. And then Tipster came on and he goes, oh, what did she get you to pick her? And then he said, we picked each other and called it a day. And I was like, well, what? Cat's out of the bag now.
Well, I definitely didn't swing on you on that one. That
no, you didn't. But there was a lot of people who turned around and did, like, they did the 180, like, oh shit, like.
Well, yeah, I was sure that. Well, I remember thinking, like, if I'm gonna I just can't remember what happened. But I'm going to swing at her. I'm going to do it if I feel necessary. But I do got to be a little more careful than I would have been.
There was one thing that you said that I disagreed with, but I know that you didn't have the full picture. Like, a lot of people didn't have the full picture.
Yeah.
You know, they took the one, me going on Augie, and I wasn't going to go on Augie. I really, really wasn't going to go on RSC that night. I wasn't going to call in. I told Augie. I messaged Augie.
Hey, you know what? You're in the drama community. Do some drama. Don't even fucking apologize for it.
So we had that, and I the only reason I went on there because Tipster came on, like, after Mudahar got done talking, and he said, "Oh, Mudahar's on here lying," and then that's when I flipped. That's when I just flipped, and I was like,
"Who said that? Augie or Tipster?"
Tipster.
I didn't know about that.
And that's what I went off, and that's when I started yelling at him, and I hate that I did it like that because I couldn't compose. And usually I'm not like that, and a lot of people got that impression of me that I'm just like unhinged and crazy, like all the women in that sphere of the like commentary part.
Thought you were in Anissa.
Yeah, they really honestly thought that I was like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And that was okay. And the only thing that you said in that stream, you said something like, this is kind of like knocking at the door of I Am Alex. But you only said that because you didn't have the full picture, so I didn't freak out about it.
Well, I must have. If I said, that's pretty strong wording.
It is.
If I said, did I direct it toward you? Like, if
you said it's kind of... It can be interpreted that way.
It definitely could get there, though. For sure.
I got what you were saying for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you're Alex, though. I don't think I'm saying. I'm saying if you get this rolling, and he's like a degenerate. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could. Yeah, that was strong language, though. But I think I said it in general. I don't think I said, "Oh, Don't Jangles is not good." It was like in general.
It's a situation that could tiptoe
could
on
go
there
and not like
which you said that about the lolly thing too, about the tipster lolly thing. You even said like a lot of people can do that.
Tipster lolly.
So I was consistent.
Tipster made a stupid argument like he always did. Something was not lolly, it was Shota. He was sticking up for one of his little girlfriends. Like every single time there's a girl that gets in trouble, he white knights and gets himself in trouble every single time, without fail. Because now look at him. He's a Keffel's reply guy. Nobody watches him. Nobody cares about him anymore. He's now gone into obscurity. The only person that talks about him is Bobax when he does bully streams.
Because Bobax is probably legitimately hurt.
He is because he betrayed him, and I agree. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I like the streams when he does them because he just bullies the shit out of him, and I love it.
Did you notice that I wasn't as hard on him when he like said, "Fuck you guys" and became a couple? Because all those guys were.
Don't you? I mean, you still talk to him, kind of.
No, I haven't talked to him in months.
Really?
Now. Like I never put him out there as somebody that was. I never put him out there as somebody that was like a complete, like I wasn't, I'm separating myself from him. I just never went that far, but I was pretty critical. But if you remember, like he screwed me over years earlier. Mm-hmm. And so when he screwed all them, it was kind of like, well, you know what he did to me. So if you guys got your fucking panties in a bunch, that's kind of on you. So, cause he did me dirty as soon as he could, stick the knife in me, and like I had reached out to him when I was on Baited, or he reached out to me and basically told me not to get involved with Keemstar, and I was like, well, let me hear you out, let's see what you got to say, and we became friends after that, and then he kind of supported me the whole way, including when Baited broke up. But once he started like gaining momentum, he was all cool with siding with my enemies. So he had done that before. So when it happened to them, because I could kind of vouch, like they were generally hurt. That wasn't like their teasing him was coming from a place like they were generally hurt because they did a lot of nice things for him, and then you start to realize like all the stuff you did, really he didn't mean anything to him, like nothing. Like some of the stuff that Nick and Augie has done for me, like we might get a fight or something, but there's certain things I'll never say or do about them. You don't get the feeling like that's the case with Tipster, that he'll do whatever he thinks he needs to do. And I think he also got it in his head that nobody was sticking up for him. Also, I'm one of the few people he hasn't blocked either. I don't think we unfollowed each other or anything.
Yeah,
although
if
he starts, I'm probably the only one. And but if he starts posting about fucking Palestine and fucking being a terrorist sympathizer, which I thought he might have been, then I'm definitely done with him for sure. I see that,
he's.
I have to see it. I'm not looking for it. I have to see it.
He is the. Like I've said this, and I've said this actually for a really long time, where I'm like, you know what? He's like a 14-year-old girl in a lot of respects. It's like he has to pick a genre and have a new, different friend group, like every other month, and he's always looking. He's always looking for something, and he just never
like he has no he has no like relationships. It's like
no,
like you know. Look, if you're gonna have relationships online, you're gonna get screwed by somebody, and somebody's gonna do you dirty eventually. I think even if you don't have a platform, that's gonna be.
You look at the now recording podcast. You don't really have to have a platform to have drama online.
Yeah, that's true. That's very much true. But I think I lost my train of thought a little bit. I think those criticisms are definitely fair to him, and it does kind of make you wonder, like. How could you have like no feelings for people to kind of help you out? I know like Bobax and Augie and like they made fun of him and stuff, and they thought he did goofy stuff. He would like get his Twitter banned for fighting with a fucking furry or something and call him a degenerate, and we were like, stop doing that. And maybe you won't lose your Twitter account because there's nothing we can do for you. And then he would do it again, and he would do it anyway.
Oh, constantly.
Then he would do it like immediately.
He doesn't listen to any. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't really listen to anybody. You can get him to listen, but you gotta trick him. Because if we wanted him to kind of agree with us, you just tell him a story like. You just go like, yeah, did you hear about this situation? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then all of a sudden it's on Tipster.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, that easy. It's like, you can't turn your back. Like a lot of these people, there's a lot of people that I've been friends with ever since I was pretty much starting to be active. Like Clown was my first YouTube friend.
Oh, wow.
Like, legitimate.
That's a good one to have.
He was my first one. So it's like he's done a lot for me. Like he's come on this podcast, like a couple of nobodies, come on this podcast twice. He did something for my video that wasn't gonna get really like any views, but he did it for me because like that's the way he is.
He's
that
awesome.
Would be like, yes, he is like phenomenal human being. Period.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. Like, that would be like me going against him for something, which I couldn't fathom.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I think it's a good equivalent. Like he really. I think that's what hurt. It didn't hurt me because I kind of knew that, and I just accepted him for who he was. Because if he was able to do me dirty and try to throw me under the bus to move up, with no sort of drama prior to that, with no like hate or stuff like this. I mean, he made this thing out of nowhere because I was taking L's in the with some of the Medgar guys, right?
Yeah.
And he just wrote this message how he was separating himself from me, and friendships come to an end sometimes, and it's kind of come to him. And there was no like I'm looking at this. I'm like, what did I do to you?
How? Where?
Like I've never did anything but promote you. Like I didn't do a thing. So I'll be honest with you, like. That really didn't have effect on the other guys. It was just, kind of like too bad. And then, 3-4 years later, he does it to them. And it was more like, well, you know what he did to me. So now that he's fucking...
He got a lot of grace. He got a lot of grace from the guys for a really long time, I think.
Yeah, they generally liked him.
Yeah, they did.
they generally liked him.
He made it hard for them, but they always fought for him.
No, I could swear up and down they generally liked him.
Yeah.
They were willing to ignore him being a total phony to me, like it's always like that too. Like, like somebody does you dirty and stuff, and like everybody's like, well, that's just too bad for fucking you.
Yeah. And it was
and then can you believe it's like a woman that gets her husband and he's like she starts having a relationship with a guy that's already married, and they get married. She leaves his wife, and then he starts cheating on the girl, and they're like, well, what do you expect? He was cheating on you. He was he was cheating on his wife to get to you. Of course he's going to cheat on
Once
you.
a cheater, always
It's
a
not
cheater.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the behavior. Well, I guess. But it's more like she exhibited this behavior before. Why wouldn't he do it again? And why are you surprised?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like I had that inkling, that little red flagginess from before he popped off over the Susie Lou thing.
Yeah.
I knew.
That was a gift from us too. That was a gift.
I was
Augie
one of those
and
people
else.
that was like, pandemic was like an odd time because there's so much happening like online.
That's pre-pandemic.
That was actually that was like
that's
more like
2019.
2019. Yeah. And it's just it's like it was funny because I knew Diorio was done with them when he asked me on your show that one day that I called in. It was after like you guys were talking about the Nisa stuff. It was like you and Clown were watching the iDubbbz video, and I called in to kind of talk about it. And then Diorio was on. He was like, "Wait, can I ask you a question real quick?" And I was like, "Fuck, here we go." And then I knew it was coming. And he's like, "So what do you think about Tipster's recent?" This was like after the whole like getting on Keffel's thing. And I was like, "Man, fuck that guy." And then that's when I knew Diorio was done with them. I was like, "Okay, Diorio's done with them." And
that really hurt. If he thought that like they weren't his real friends and they didn't care about him and this is all about movement, he generally made a mistake. They did care. Absolutely, I could.
Bo Blacks did. Bo Blacks was like the last person like standing up and.
Well, in fairness, Bo Blacks cannot deal with being slighted in any fucking meaningful way. So, like, yeah, but he was legitimately slighted. If he feels slighted, whether he is or not, he's going to try to get even with you because that's just the way Bo Blacks is built. But in fairness, I think he was legitimately slighted by Tipster.
He was.
Sure.
He
definitely
definitely
was. Yeah,
and he was hurt. He was a little hurt by that because he was the last one that was kind of stick. He was the last one, kind of like, okay, I'm your friend, Tipster. And then once he was out, it was like it's only a matter of time before, which I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Before fucking what's her nuts? What's her name? Damn it, fuck Keffels.
Well, right now, I think he's probably moved into fan with a small YouTube channel era. I don't think there's nothing. She's lost her. She's kind of lost
nothing.
her thing.
She's got nothing going on.
She's got nothing going on. There's nothing. Her arc is. The only thing that can happen to her is like, I remember her. Remember the girl that got the Kiwi Farms banned and she did this, or she got she's found in a hotel like doing heroin and she's in the hospital now. I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I can too. And he traded that just for a little bit, just because he thought, that's got to be miserable. Honestly, that's got to be actually miserable.
Sad.
It is. It's got to be pretty miserable. But you know what? None of that surprises me.
Reap what you
There's
sow.
none of that surprises me. And like I said, Mudahar told me. He told me when that drama was going down. He was like, "Listen, I know it's frustrating, honey. I know. I get it. It's all right. I get it. I know it's frustrating. Give it some time. Everybody will see what you're talking about, honey. Give it some time." And then when it hit, he came back to me and he said, looked at me and he goes, "I told you." I said, "You did. You were right."
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't doubt you, but I knew you were right.
I'm gonna defend myself a little bit for defending him. I didn't defend him on he's my friend. You
never did.
I did defend him on principle. I really don't.
You did.
Yeah. So I mean,
You
but
did.
yeah, but here's the thing. I already knew you were right about being a little shady. I just like sometimes I think in general you kind of gotta accept people's downside. His downside is he might turn on you. You know, and he's friends with so I got a choice. I can be friendly with Augie and Nick and what have you, or I can sit there and bitch about him the whole time.
Yeah.
And then just make them miserable. Or I could just fucking like eat it, and kind of go on as normal. And we benefited from Tipster too with it. I'm glad Tipster got what's her face. Yeah, she was running around striking down everybody.
Well, even Muda said it. Muda said it's not like his contributions to the platform. It's not like he didn't have any contributions. He did.
He had plenty. He had tons. And I think those contributions that he made were helped by sort of T-crossing, I-dotting, optics, Nick stuff and by us, and
definitely.
even me, I'm like, hey, what do you think? How are you going to handle this? How are you going to handle that? Like, well, I'm going to go with this narrative. Where are you at? And, if everybody's got the same kind of voice, assuming they all agree legitimately, I mean, you can get, like, I'm not one, I won't echo somebody. I will echo somebody's stuff if I actually agree with it. I won't do it. I won't pull a fucking what appears technicals wants. You just agree with everybody because you're friends. I won't do that. But I think if you all do agree, then single boost each other. Sure.
Yeah. There's nothing right, and that's how people grow. I mean, that's even what Clown told me a long time ago. And he goes, "You can't grow unless you have people around you."
No, it's
impossible. And he said the same thing to you said before we started actually like recording, like he was like, why don't you just have him like promote you? People are just going to say what they're going to say regardless. So fuck it. Like,
I think I actually agree with that. I agree with that, Shane. I really do. And I think we talked about it offline. I think you should just say, like, there's definitely an upside to this.
Yeah.
But
it's not because I don't make bad stuff. Like, I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a shit. Like, I actually make pretty decent stuff.
You know what Deji said to me? You know what Deji? Deji called my show, and I was like, "Does it bother you?" It was weird. He just calls in. He was.
I remember.
The sad thing was he was sucking up to get unbaited, so he really didn't give a shit about me. He lied to me.
But who cares? Who cares? He called your show.
I asked him a fucking tough question, like right out the gate.
Yeah.
And I said, like, is it difficult to have, kind of like you're a huge YouTuber. You're like YouTube royalty, but is it tough to be under your brother's shadow? He had like the most perfect response. He's like, certainly. My brother being as big as he was definitely helped me, but I had to hold him. I think that's such a brilliant response because he did it for a long time. He held them, and then it started going down, and maybe the same thing happened to him that happened to Jay that you were talking about before, and he just couldn't deal with it. He just couldn't. His ego couldn't handle it, which is so weird because the kid that I talked to was like, wow, that guy's got it together. His brother's more famous with him, and he rolls it right off his back and say, yeah, I'm a beneficiary of it, but guess what? I'm still rolling. I'm still kicking ass.
Yeah, that's true. And it's like I could because.
But he was lying to me. Like that was the only other part. It doesn't make him wrong. It just makes him a liar.
Because it's like I feel like there are people that have told me, the people whose actual opinions that I know, when I said separate the people that fuck with your stuff and are trying to fuck you, I know the people that actually fuck with my stuff who are pretty, there are people that are successful, and they tell me there's some stuff you got to clean up, obviously, like my pacing isn't perfect, my stuff isn't perfect, but they're like, clean that up and you got something here.
Yeah,
like truly.
Matt told me you got to promote something. Maybe
the podcast. We need to promote the podcast more.
Do you want to do love phones this week? I think that'd be fun. You want to do that?
When do you do it? What day do you do it?
I don't know. No, I'd work it when you're around.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
What a pal.
Yeah.
What a pal.
We'll
What a
love
pal.
Let's do love phones. It'd be funny. It's always it's fun to have a female counterpart with love phones.
Yeah.
Actually, I did too.
You gotta get the girls to say that. I think you gotta have. That's right, you did.
I did two with Illuminati.
Yeah,
I had fun. I always say and I did one with Jacksfilms too. I like having I think I should have a female on once in a while.
Yeah, because we gotta tell the guys it's the simplest term. Sometimes you need a girl to say she's just not that into you, bro.
Yep, that's real. Yeah.
Oof, put a dagger in their heart, Jenna.
It's true.
Sometimes it's the best thing to hear. Women need to hear it too.
They do.
It's I keep sleeping with a guy and he doesn't call me back. I'm like, well, he's not that into you,
I go by this. I go by what my dad always told me. My dad said, hey, if a guy likes you, it doesn't matter if there's a fucking natural
crawl
disaster.
over a wall. Yeah, he'll come find you.
He will find any fucking way to get a hold of you. Any way. And if he's not doing that, then he don't really like you.
I remember I was 13 or 14, and I had the shot of getting a little, some action. And I remember I took my little bicycle. I went over highways, places I wasn't supposed to go, just at the thought that I might get laid or something might happen. You're damn right. That's all. Your father's a hunter. You can climb over the wall. For you.
They'll find you. That's why I've never overextended. I didn't
same advice to guys, by the way.
If a girl likes you,
you have to be the aggressor.
Even if she plays hard to get in a way, she'll always leave you a little opening where that's an opening.
There you go.
That's it. It's that simple.
Weird thing.
So if anybody ever tries to say that I came on the Mudahar, that's not how it happened. Now, I wanted him to, we met, in person, and I wanted him to talk to me, but I was not the aggressor. I let him do it. I let him do all
you
the
did
work.
the old-fashioned way.
He broke his phone the very first night that we met. He jumped in the pool with his phone on. He broke his phone.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
we met at the party the night before. He had he got up in the morning. He woke up a couple of his housemates that he was staying with and said, he was playing rock and blaming on Jorge, and he goes,
he's like, I got this fucking white girl here.
He said, I have to go to Best Buy and buy a new phone right now to message this girl. And I thought, okay, if he likes me, he'll message me.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he did.
went over.
He did. It's 10:30 in the morning, and when my phone buzzed, I already knew. I was like, that's him.
Yeah,
and that happened.
In there, like swimwear.
Exactly. If they like you and you made an impression, they'll find you. Sure. They will find you. I didn't leave him my number. I didn't give him my number. I let him grab me on Twitter, and that's what
for guys, if they like you, they won't say no. You know,
they'll look for you.
They'll look for they'll look. And they'll look. Guys will climb over a wall, and I don't know. I think the real trick for guys is maybe means no. That's it.
There are some of them that think that, but then there's that little bit of maybe where guys...
Yeah, and that's the one that gets you in trouble, because, if you believe that, you're like, oh, my God, this guy came on to me 3 times. I said maybe 3 times, and he hasn't taken it as a no. It's really making me uncomfortable, and then you're a sex creep. So I always... The safest way to play it maybe
which
no.
I would like to clarify when we were talking about a Jay earlier. I don't think he's a sex creep. I just think that he has no game.
No, I didn't think anything impression. He has no game. It was funny.
I just think that he had no game, and yes, I've heard the joke about one Indian guy, and now you're dating an Indian guy.
That's fucking funny.
And I'm like, that's just just a
type.
coincidence, but it has nothing to. I wasn't into him. He had no game.
You like computer guys, and Indians are good at those Asians.
But he's got game though. Mudahar has game. He's actually pretty.
He doesn't look it. I'm gonna be honest with you. He does not look like
he's
he does.
Really when I met him in person the very first time. I had pretty much met a lot of people the night before, so he was standing over by the door soaking wet because he just jumped out of the pool, and he was fully clothed or whatever. So I was like, okay, this is basically his B&B. He invited everybody. I'm going to go introduce myself. So I went and I talked to him, and then somebody else got there. I excused myself, and then I was like, okay, he kind of seemed like he was maybe a little into me. I'll see if he comes and he talks to me. And he did, because at that time, I didn't have a drink in my hand. And I was talking to somebody, and he comes up, and he hands me a drink, and he goes, hey,
Hey there, white girl.
You look like you're missing something here. How you doing?
Yeah, he does have game. Well, I don't see why. You look, he's the computer guy. He looks like let me help you with your tech support. He does not look like the guy that has game. But I could, now that you mention, I think because I always you talk the difference. Him and Charlie are competitors, but they're not competitors. Everybody knows it because they're very close, and the kind of audience. Yeah, they're very close. So I would talk to people. What's the difference between Mudahar and Charlie? I go, Charlie is performing for you when he does his commentary, and it's really good, right? Mudahar is talking to you. He's talking to you. So if that translate onto, it must translate with chicks as well. Mudahar. That's what I'm thinking.
He's a good talker.
He's good. No, he talks to you. When I watch his videos, I feel like he's like, "Hey, Tommy, check this out with this fucking company. It's ripping these guys off. Thanks, Muda."
And you know what? It was this thing where we spoke the same language, because he said because we were already following each other on Twitter for a little while, and he was he goes, I always thought you were really funny, and he's not somebody that slides into DMs. That's not him. And he goes, I would have, but I really honestly figured you probably had a boyfriend.
Oh,
but I guess I guess I planted a seed. Because in the VidCon group chat, when everybody's making plans, he posted a picture of himself in that chat because they were throwing a party, and I guess I was the only one that hearted the picture.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, okay.
I don't know what world I'm totally removed from that kind of dating. I literally, I was probably the last guy on earth, and it was during the internet dating time. I met her in 2011. So yeah, there's still plenty of internet dating. Like I went to a bar and talked to her, and I hear about this stuff. Like
bar?
I can imagine guys getting together. Like, well, she hearted my comment. I think it's a really good sign. That's so comical to say that out loud, but it really isn't anymore. That's like how people interact now.
Yeah.
I think I'm in good shape. Why? She hearted my comment. Like 10, 15 years ago, people laugh in your face.
I didn't totally like. I noticed later I was the only one who did it, and then I was like, okay. I really didn't think that much about it, but I think like a little seed was planted.
Yeah.
And then when we started talking, like I said something kind of super deep Chris Chan Lori.
Yeah.
And he
oh my God, this is the woman for me.
And he countered right back, and he was like, for me, that was like it. That was and he was like, she likes to talk about super autistic shit, so we're fucking like, this I'm done. Like I'm done looking.
Listen, I hate to do this to you guys, but I think
it's late for you. How late is it for you right now?
About 20 to 1.
Okay, yeah, go to bed. But thank you for coming.
No
we've
problem.
Have you back on sometime. This was great.
Yeah, our new friend Tommy.
I would be more than happy to come on again. It was a great experience with both you guys. All right. We'll just end the thing and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Who do I mail this sucker to? Can it do that? Is it? Oh, it's probably too big for that. Yeah, it's gonna be. Just send you a WAV file because that's the. Yeah.